Microsoft, and another gold partner, Havas India, as well. Let's move on to our next session, and this always generates a lot of interest because this comes from a field of an evolving technology that has become a conversation that we have almost on a day-to-day basis, which is around the world, the fascinating world of artificial intelligence. Quantum leap empowering AI innovations. Let me introduce our panelists, Sanket Shah, CEO, InVideo, Ankit Prasad, founder and CEO, Bobble AI, Rahul Agarwal, managing partner and investor, Sense AI Ventures, Abhinav Das, co-founder, Orangewood Labs, and the chair of this session, Apurva Chamaria, head startups and VC, Google. Could we have our guests on stage, please? Could we have a huge round of applause for our panelists? Also, could I request the people who are standing at the back, you could take the seats in the front, and I would request you all to be seated because as you can see, we're all set to begin our next session. So it would be kind of you if you could move forward and take the seats in the front row.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. It's always a tough panel after lunch. You're competing for both people's sleepy attention and the overrun from lunchtime. So we've got some really incredibly cool panelists. And to wake you up, we'll start with some nifty videos. So can we have the Bobble video, please? If we can have the Bobble video on screen, please. Yeah. You'll make the video of the video? Okay, that's good. Lights off, please.
Every conversation carries an emotion. But do you know? The world are messaging and every conversation carries an emotion. But do you know what carries these conversations? Keyboards. Keyboards enable conversations and make them richer with expressions and emotions. Your keyboard predicts the words you want to type, suggests the correct spelling, and helps you find the perfect emojis. But wait, why'd you stop there? Introducing Bobble AI Keyboard. Finish your sentences faster than you can say autocomplete. Be it your favorite messenger or email app, AI Compose helps your brain take a much-needed coffee break. Watch as our real-time AI expression adds that extra oomph to your chats with funny stickers and memes. Turn your words and emotions into compelling, personalized visual content faster than you can say snap. It's magical. Introducing Bobble Fan Store, where your personalized designs created with AI. Bobble AI, empowering millions of users and billions of daily conversations in 100+ languages.
That's awesome. And Ankit, thank you for sharing the video. Can you tell us about one exciting AI experiment which you're currently doing or have just completed, which you think all of us can learn from?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Apurva. In fact, when we started with face, selfie to bobblehead as our USP, right? And I remember that story, when we were actually planning it in the drawing board. Every other engineer, and including us, founders said, it seems to be impossible. इतनी सारी डिफ़िकल्टीज़ है, एक सेल्फी किसी भी एंगल से खींची जा सकती है, बैकग्राउंड में कुछ भी हो सकता है, लाइटिंग कंडीशंस डिफरेंट हो सकती है, फेस टोन डिफरेंट हो सकता है, हेयर स्टाइल डिफरेंट हो सकता है, इतनी सारी सिनारियोज़ बन करके आ रही थी कि इतना कॉम्प्लेक्स लग रहा था, तो हमने तो हाथ खड़े कर दिए कि हमसे नहीं हो पाएगा. But then I remember there was an intern working with us during that time and he said कि सर हम कर देंगे, थोड़ा टाइम दो, हम कर देंगे. And we were amazed how an intern went ahead and solved that problem for us, right? So this was such an, I would say, inspirational and learning moment for me कि जहाँ पे हमें ऐसा लगता है कि इतनी कॉम्प्लेक्स प्रॉब्लम है वो AI के थ्रू इतनी आसानी से सॉल्व हो सकती है, right? That was the learning moment for me, and we replicated that success into various other problems that we faced during our journey, right? Be it smart compose, or be it using deep neural network for your typing sentences, right? Swipe typing and things like those. Yeah, so I think that's one of the stories.
Thank you. That's great. Can we have the video, please? That's a tongue twister.
People all over the world are messaging and
The other one.
This is mind blowing.
Volume,
So
please.
good. It found all these stock footages. It wrote a script. Even the narration of the script seemed so human-like. Holy can we make one more?
InVideo solves AI video very differently from how a runway solves AI video. Make a YouTube video about an astronaut who dislikes fizzy drinks.
Amidst the roar of engines and the rush of adrenaline, ready for the journey of a lifetime, fizzy drinks are off the table, or rather off the spaceship. Why this fizzy aversion, you ask?
What do you think?
This is mind blowing. So good.
Almost like text to script to pick up stock footage, put it together.
And even the narration of the script seemed so human-like.
This is what I keep saying about AI, right? Like, people who synthesize the tools that exist very, very well will eventually end up building out good tools.
Amazing. So Sanket, while we were having lunch, you used an interesting turn. You said, pre-AI and post-AI. Can you tell the audience a little bit about that?
Sure. So, firstly, like the video
This
was
is
not
completely off the script. They don't have these questions.
Yeah. So, firstly, the video was not sponsored. I think AI is really a tool to meet customer needs. Like what AI does or how we look at it internally is to marry customer needs to what's possible just now. And AI just solves that. So basically, pre-AI, there were a particular type of workflows because the technology in the world allowed you to only do a certain things, of course, unless you were Sam Altman. When that came in, we actually went back on the drawing board. We, in fact, did like 4 months of strategy to understand what should we really do with this? Which is the customer demand that is consistent, the segment that's reachable, the segment that will get the most value out of it, and create a full, fresh take with AI. So, I mean, I've been running this company before, but what I did really was said, whatever's done is done. Let's take a fresh look at what should be done and created a whole new product called InVideo AI. To give you context, like by meeting the customer needs perfectly, I think InVideo AI is like the fastest growing SaaS business India has ever seen. We are 6 months since launch, and all the curves are something that India has never seen, and that's essentially came because we are meeting like a customer need for a very large segment to what's possible now. What's happening really internally is the gratification cycle is very fast. So what took people an hour now takes 2 minutes. Dopamine hits. Once dopamine hits, you want to like continue doing that. That's essentially what's happening, and that's what the post-AI world has done in our business largely.
Thank you so much, Sanket. Can we please have the Orangewood Labs video? Amazing. So, one of your videos viral, which I think had the Orangewood Labs robot doing puja on Diwali. So, fabulous. So we've moved from hardcore consumer AI use cases to AI, computer-aided vision, into robotics. Tell us a little bit about what are the AI experiments you guys are running?
I don't know if it's safe to say that.
Chatham House rules, so nothing will go out.
Yeah, so it's very, very interesting what you can do. Like my inspiration, why I was motivated to work in robotics was because of sci-fi movies. And it now, and in most sci-fi movies, be it Terminator or Star Wars, you are basically talking to a robot to do something. Now you actually can. And that itself is amazing. And yeah, we're doing things, so many times the system has, or rather the robots have surprised us with their capabilities. Just the fact that you can write in any natural language, you can talk to it in Punjabi and can still do the things which you wanted to do. That itself is amazing. So I think that the part where it can understand any natural language to do your job or whatever you tell it to, I think that's the most interesting, or rather the most amazing thing which we've been able to do with AI.
Thank you. Rahul, you were talking about AI before it became like the buzzword, right? You started Sense AI in 2018. I remember when we used to meet at VC events and all and used to talk about AI, everybody used to take a passing curiosity, but people could not even fathom what you're saying. So from there to now, AI actually, and you had the conviction, you stayed, you continued building Sense AI as a fund which is focused on AI. Tell us about what next, what's exciting you?
Okay, so AI is still very exciting. Yeah, I started out.
Imagine he bet his whole fund on AI in 2018. Amazing.
Yeah, so it actually comes from personal experience, right? I mean, these founders have told you about their personal experiences. I love his story about how he got inspired by science fiction. But for me, it happened in Japan. We were trying to solve a problem which current technology couldn't solve, which was to basically understand what are the words in a sentence written in Japanese, because it has no spaces. And dictionary plus rules just didn't work. And so we tried out this newfangled NLP techniques, and we got 80% accuracy. And because of that, we got orders from Honda, Toyota, Canon. And that kind of makes the penny drop, right? You realize that this technology is real. It makes a real difference. We made revenues, we expanded outside of Japan. All that happened. All the good things that happen when technology just does what it needs to do for you. That's what happened to me. So when I sold that business off in 2016, I started looking at, can I invest in AI? And the excitement came from personal experience of having benefited from AI. And I've now seen so many people benefit from AI, and some of these founders, these are the stories we love. I mean, this is exactly what I'm here to do, which is find people like this and help support their journey in building out these phenomenal products which enable us to do things which were never possible before, right? Like Sanket talked about 1 hour to 1 minute, right? Making a video today is so easy. Literally, all of us can do it. How good it will be is still questionable. But so that's the change. And I think that change we're at the start of that change. What I mean by that is ChatGPT opened our eyes. We suddenly had a computer being able to write poetry like Shakespeare on any topic you chose. And we've never seen something like that, right? I mean, why was it surprising? Because computers were boring, right? They did Excel, PowerPoint, theek hai, thoda sa picture laga do. But in the end of the day, it was not something which ever created anything which you'd not seen before. And suddenly you can now create from text to images to videos which have never existed before in the world. And the computer does it on its own. But that's just the start of it, right? I mean, if you go look, we've still not seen the whole reimagining of products from the ground up. You'll see products which are completely built with AI. We're just scratching the surface. We've seen the first few devices, AI-enabled devices come out. Humane, the pin is one example. There are a couple of more Rabbit. So all that is still to happen. You are at the very start of a very long transformation cycle.
Thank you. Sanket, you're in video, NVIDIA, it seems like anything with N is like really rocketing and ratcheting up the numbers. Do you feel there are limitations where AI is reached right now and you wish, hey, God, if AI had two amazing things, I could have built this. Where do you think the technology has reached?
I think AI is like electricity. It's just that we don't feel it yet, and we are at like the extreme starting point of it. So there are several limitations. Of course, the common limitation is hallucination, but I think we are probably like 3 steps away from AGI, and it's already writing code. It would do more than it would start building architecture. On a video perspective, it would start doing cuts that could make sure that the retention, like every 3 seconds you see something that you would retain a video to. You won't skip the video, and it would learn all of that. So again, like it's like electricity. It's just that we don't feel it. It's much bigger than what it feels, and it's like the start. The other part is I feel the world will start believing in AI when there is AI-powered hardware, tangible things that we would feel, touch, and that would happen. And the example of that really is when you go to SF, you see a car that has no driver, used as a cab. And it's happening, basically. It's just that a lot of us have not seen it, and once we'll see it, we'll start agreeing to that.
Thank you. Ankit, when you started thinking about Bobble, you were almost reimagining how people communicate with each other. That's like a crazy, crazy dream, right? How do we get people to converse in memes and it's a different language? If you were to think about, hey, can I get these 3 amazing things from AI which would take Bobble to the next level? What would be top of your wish list?
As of today?
Yeah.
Okay. So I wish, today AI has got certain limitations like Sanket mentioned, and in fact it is being developed to be able to have cognitive skills, reasoning skills, and aptitude. So I believe if these 3 things could come to AI sooner than later, then it would be definitely beneficial for our kind of businesses who wants to disrupt how people converse with each other. For example, when I go to China, I'm sure many of us, when we go to China, we have so much difficulty in communicating with the localites around and finding out what food to eat and what not to eat. It's so difficult, right? Today, we are solving it to a certain extent using a phone camera, scanning things, and using some translate options, but that's not enough. That's not easy. It serves the purpose to some extent, but that's not what people deserve when it comes to conversation. I should be able to converse with a Chinese as seamlessly as I'm able to converse with a Purva, right? So I think if we have to disrupt that, the 3 things that I would expect from AI would be cognitive skills, aptitude, and reasoning.
Rahul, there are a lot of builders sitting out there. So I'm sure there are companies which are AI native and companies which are now trying to absorb and imbibe. Tell them about 2 theses which you're looking to invest in. 1 or 2 theses.
Sure, great. Thank you for that. So absolutely what you said, builders. So we look for builders, right? I mean, as Sanket also said, I mentioned before, we are at the early phases of AI. A lot of AI is yet to be built, which means we're looking for guys who can actually build that AI. Not just consume it, but actually build parts of it, right? You're never ever going to build the whole thing, right? Even the first car that ever came out, you didn't build all of it, right? Wheels already existed. So lots of stuff already exists, but there has to be some core IP that you're looking for. But now, to do what? So one of the things which we love, and you can see some examples of that actually on this panel itself, which is what I call human first AI, right? We all know how to type. Can I get can every show of hands who don't know how to type? Yeah, I think we all do, right? You send SMS, you use your laptop, all of that. Why? Why do you know how to type? Do you think it's a natural human skill? Did your parents know it? No. We learn to use it, learn to type so that we can use technology. So who's the master, who's the tool? So to my mind, AI completely reverses that paradigm. We come back in charge. How many of you have gone through software training in the companies you work with, right? How many of you have struggled to use some enterprise software or even some on, fill up a form on a website? It's painful. It shouldn't be. Talking to other humans is not painful, though it can be sometimes. So technology should be simple. To me, that is the entire premise of human first AI. Like Sanket's example is a good one, right? It puts the human at the center. You just say what you want, and the AI goes ahead and produces it, right? He's telling his robots what to do, and the robots go ahead and do that. So that's how technology should be. We shouldn't have to type into small little boxes just to say that, I met this person, his first name, his second name, his surname, his designation, all of that. Why? I mean, you never describe that like that. If you tell a friend, I met somebody, you just say, I met Ankit from Bobble. And they know. So that's, to me, one of the key theses which you're looking at. The other one I'll talk about is what we call collaborative AI. AI, to my mind, is not yet at the stage, or at least for a lot of things, where it can work fully autonomously, especially where expertise is required. But it cuts out a lot of the drudgery. It makes things really, really simple. You might want to produce a video using InVideo, but then edit it to make your final cut, which is ready to ship, right? So actually, Sanket, I wanted to ask you, that video you showed us was cut finally using some professional tools, or that came out straight from your AI?
No. So of course, I really believe that human race multiplies intelligence, and AI is multiplying our intelligence.
Absolutely.
And you will have to work with it to do that. So basically, I think life comes down to craft. Like if AI is gonna understand your craft, then I think we are useless. But I don't think that's gonna happen. What it does is it allows you to play with your ideas faster, make things that are non-tangible tangible faster without the gada mazduri of it, so that you could actually enhance your craft, which is what I said, that it's multiplying intelligence in the world. And I think that is what has happened in the world throughout, that we multiply intelligence in some forms.
Very well described. I mean, that Gadha Mazuri piece is exactly the way to think about it. The other thing you mentioned, hit upon was, so it's very hard to start with a blank canvas. We are all very good editors. आप मुझे कुछ भी दिखाओ, मैं उसमें criticism करके बोलूँगा ऐसे better हो सकता है, ऐसे better हो सकता है, ऐसे. But आप बोलो बनाओ कुछ, it's much harder. So whether it's writing an article or making a movie, starting from scratch is hard. AI enables you to get your first draft or 20 versions of approximate versions of what you want in front of you, and then you can go improve it. So collaboration, that whole multiplication of intelligence, is the second thought process that we have in the fund.
Excellent. So Abhinav, I was speaking to a very large public market investor, and he was actually asking me a question, and he was saying, Apurv, with all this generative AI tools like Replit coming in, do you think a lot of code will be auto-written? So you just upload the FRD, BRD or whatever. Even that's generated by the machine maybe. You just give it you say, I want to create a shopping cart, XYZ, and then the test cases are created and the code is deployed. So out of the 16, 17 lakh people, maybe India will lose its preeminence as the IT services destination. Conversely, India is not really the #1 manufacturing destination. Do you think Gen AI and AI into robotics with Orangewood, do you think we can become the large manufacturing hub of the world using, cobots and robots like Orangewood? What's your thesis? Tell us more.
Absolutely. I think what it does, AI with robotics has done is that it reduces that barrier to entry. And especially India is a place where nobody wants to work with their hands. हाथ गंदे किसी को नहीं करने. And इसकी वजह से होता क्या है कि मैन्युफैक्चरिंग जो है, मतलब वो आपको देखें मैन्युफैक्चरिंग वाले बेचारे धीरे से बात कर रहे होंगे यहाँ पे, वो उनको शर्म आती है yeah, वो भाई SaaS वाले लोग हैं. Those guys are getting most attention. But I think manufacturing is going to be back because it's now, it will be powered by AI. And once we get there, I think it's going to take like another 5 to 10 years. But it's going to be like, I think the entire manufacturing stack is going to be written again because of AI. Yeah.
Thank you. We'll now take some questions. The timer is telling us we have only 1 minute left, so we can take 2 questions. Yes, please. Yeah, I would love for at least one woman founder to, so we'll take his and then next. Yeah.
Hi, I am Narayan. We are trying to build a social media platform around government, policy making, and society. So, can you help me identify some of the best ways in which we can utilize AI? What problems you might have seen when citizen is dealing with government or public representative for that matter?
It will need a couple of books.
So please suggest one.
No, but
Happy to read both of them.
I think India has obviously leapfrogged a lot, but a good way is to talk to consumers. I'm one consumer, but maybe it's not our segment of consumers because we anyways get our stuff done. You need to talk to जो real users हैं, in smaller towns, citizen services जिनको actually जो really impact करते हैं, इनको problems हैं. I think यहाँ पे we might not have given it enough thought. So my only advice is talk to users जो actually आपके product use करेंगे, not us.
No, I'll just give you one, which is simply that make it easy to use, right? Government isn't easy to use. A lot of government is becoming easier to use, but it is not. It's not user friendly. So how do you get AI to make it easy? That the guy who's a farmer, who doesn't know English, who doesn't know computers, who doesn't know, maybe has a phone but doesn't have a smartphone. How does he use your service in an easy manner without having to wait for he doesn't have an hour in his day to wait to get to the right person, right? So how do you cut all that out and create a much better interface?
But before you talk to the users, read this book called The Mom Test. I think everyone should read The Mom Test when you're talking to users. I think otherwise, talking to users become echo chambers more often than not. And look, the insights for your business should run deeper than what we tell you. And there's a way to find insights, right? Like you could go down to, if you could do a backward simulation of what's happening now it's a simulation, it's facts. And if you could do that, then you could arrive at insights. To read that, you need to think very deeply on level 2, level 3, level 4 levels. We wouldn't have done that, but the tool to do that is really, Mom Test is an easy solve, but also to just constantly backward simulate of what happened, unless we are Steve Jobs, which I think most of us are not.
Thank you.
Thank you. The panelists are going to be around. We've run out of time. So please find us outside and we'll hand the mic back to the MC.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Apurva. Big shout out to this panel for making it extremely interactive, integration of video, and also sticking to time. So huge round of applause. They will be around. You can interact with them. I'll just request them to stay on stage. A small token to be presented by Geetika. Could we have the guests for a photo opportunity, please?